Hello, and welcome to Stage Directions for Blocking. I'm Ms. Cunningham. In this presentation, we're going to look at the difference between blocking and stage directions. Once we know that, we're going to look at a brief history of stage directions so that they'll help us to remember exactly what their locations are. And finally, we're going to look at some examples of stage directions with some strategies for remembering those stage directions. I'll also provide my contact information if you have further questions you'd like to ask. What is blocking? Blocking is the planned way someone will move around the stage during a play. A director will decide what makes the best looking picture for actors to move around and what makes sense with the action in the play. They're going to be based on the characteristics appropriate to the character. If it's a main character, he's going to be closer to the audience, and if he's not a main character or she isn't a main character, then they're going to move further upstage. All the blocking is made to support the story. So what are stage directions? They're the map of how a stage is laid out. It's also based on the actor's point of view. A director may be sitting in the audience and telling you how to move, but he's going to do it based on your point of view. And it's made up of 9 sections, like this. Like this. Notice, though, that upstage right is up on the left, and upstage left is on the right. That's again because it's based on the audience point of view. The audience would normally be listed at the bottom. You'll see that in a moment. It's based on the history of stages themselves. Early stages, such in Shakespeare's day, had no lighting and many had no roofs, so they were subject to bad weather. Unfortunately, when it would rain, they still had to perform because otherwise the people in the acting company would not get any money. So what to do? Want the rain sitting on the stage, so what they would do is rake the stage. That is, they would slant it downwards. That way the rain would fall off. It would roll down to the audience, unfortunately, who would get wet. But the actors at least could keep performing. They couldn't tilt it the other way because then the audience could not see the actors. So when actors would move down stage, they would be moving towards the audience, and also the rain would be rolling off. So here is a stage from the actor's point of view, with the audience in front of him. So here's a grid with the audience down at the bottom. Hopefully that will help you to realize what it's like to look at the stage from the audience point of view. When the audience looks at the stage, they typically look to the left first, but for the actor, that's going to be downstage right, in the bottom part of the grid on the left-hand side. It's one of the strongest places to perform as well. That's one of the secrets that a director will know. Upstage is always going to be farthest away from the audience. Remember, because the rain had to run down towards the people who were watching the play, not on the actors. Downstage was always towards the poor peasants who didn't pay a lot of money and usually got soaked on rainy stage days. Here's a look at upstage right. And here's downstage left. Notice that both are far away from the audience, so they're weaker places to perform at if you have to say lines. Downstage left is one of the stronger places, but the strongest is going to be downstage right. That's because of the nature of how we read. Most cultures read left to right, and as a result, downstage right is where our eyes tend to travel as an audience. Depending on the director's intent, center stage can also be an extremely strong place to be, such as center stage right and center stage left. Center stage center, of course, is where everybody dreams of being, but it's still not quite as strong as downstage right. Finally, there's upstage center. All the upstage areas, as we mentioned before, are weaker places, but they're strong places for when you have things like a chorus of people singing, or perhaps multiple dancers dancing at one time. So here are some strategies to learn your blocking for when you're cast in a play. First, write it down in your script. If you have a script you're going to keep, you can use shorthand such as USL for upstage left or DSR for downstage right. You want to draw pictures if it helps you. And read over your blocking before every rehearsal. It's going to keep it fresh in your mind, and you're going to be the one who keeps the play moving along. Thank you for watching this presentation on blocking and stage directions. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at cunninghamc@knights.ucf.edu. Break a leg.